All right, I'll back up wherever you want. Just do a quick summary to introduce. Yeah.
Sounds good. Okay.
Okay.
So business development, what is business development? And that's the creation of long-term value for an organization from customers, markets, and relationships. So it's all about creating long-term value. That's the key word right here. And there's many ways that we can do that, but one way specifically, which is what we're going to focus on today, is partnerships. And what are partnerships? They're basically two companies or two business partners, two business entities coming together to create something big, something bigger, something that's going to benefit both parties. And so I can give you here some examples of some partnerships that have been very successful that I found. And one of them is, and you can also see from each one that I present, they're actually all pretty different, what you get out of it. And so it's interesting to see because you can be very creative in how you create a partnership and how sometimes two companies that are completely different can come together. So here you've got CoverGirl and Lucasfilm. CoverGirl is a makeup brand, and Lucasfilm, they make Star Wars. They're all about Star Wars, right? So it's interesting because you would think, well, how do you get a makeup brand to partner with a movie franchise, right? At first, it doesn't make sense. But then when you think about it and you see what they did, then you realize why it's kind of a genius idea. And so here we can see that Star Wars in the past has always been marketed more to men, more to boys, and so what they did, bringing CoverGirl into here, is they made makeup, Star Wars branded, Star Wars themed makeup, and so now you have the Star Wars brand being exposed to women all over the U.S. and wherever their products are at. So you're not only just getting the makeup, you're not just getting Star Wars to being marketed to women, but they're also proving a point. And this is something interesting that I found online. It proves that Star Wars has equal draw for both men and women. So they're making a statement at the same time. So not only are they getting people to buy more makeup because it's Star Wars themed, but they're also getting probably more people going to their movies because they have so much more marketing of Star Wars, but they're also making a statement. And then you have another company like Eva Air and Hello Kitty. So the Hello Kitty airplane basically is how everybody knows it, right? You can imagine that a Hello Kitty branded airplane is going to stand out at every single terminal that they go to. And I think the inside too is all Hello Kitty themed. So something like this, here you can see makes for a whole different flying experience. And it sure is, I'm sure the tickets sold by Eva Air increased a lot once they got this Hello Kitty partnership. And then we've got Spotify and Starbucks, and what they do is I don't know if you guys have seen or if you have Spotify, but I have Spotify, and I remember going to Starbucks once and I saw on there somewhere they said that there was a Spotify playlist. And so I looked it up, and of course, all the songs that were in that Spotify playlist were all the songs that were playing on at Starbucks. And they were all songs that I really liked because they made me feel like I was being productive. And it was just good, relaxing music, not too fast and upbeat, but not too slow. It was just perfect. It's coffee house music and coffee shop music. And so I'm sure Spotify saw this, Starbucks is this great coffee shop. It's popular. How about we're the ones that provide their music? And so Starbucks partner with Spotify, and now Starbucks employees get a premium Spotify subscription to create their own Starbucks playlists. And anybody who does have Spotify and uses and links that to their Starbucks app, they can get Starbucks rewards. They can be earned through the music app. So now you've got people that go to Starbucks joining Spotify because they like playlists, and you've got people downloading Spotify because they can get rewards for Starbucks. So you see how it kind of goes both ways. And then another partnership here is IKEA and DreamWorks. And this is, IKEA is a furniture store. DreamWorks is an animation studios. So they do Trolls and Shrek and lots of well-known movies. And you would think, how can an animation studios partner with a furniture store, right? But apparently, so they're partnering because IKEA has a collection of toys and instruments and all these different physical products that DreamWorks is now going to create short animations for to bring them to life. And the whole idea is that what they're doing together is promoting fun and play and bringing that into everyday lives. So that's their statement. You know, they're coming in for a bigger purpose, but at the same time, you can see that what they're doing is somehow benefiting each other from a marketing perspective, from a financials perspective. So partnerships can come in many different forms, and you can have the most unexpected companies come together. So, okay, so now we come back to Build It Yourself and what we do. And we have a list here of potential Build It Yourself partnerships. And all of these companies are pretty different. We've got Bright Horizons, Scholastic, Whole Foods, Xbox, Lego. Computer gaming, you've got a grocery store, right? And then you've got after school enrichment programs. They're all different. So how can we partner with them? And this is the tricky part. This is what I wanted us to come together and talk. I want us to brainstorm different potential partnerships, different companies, what companies are out there that Build It Yourself might be able to work with, and how can we work with them? How can we create a partnership that we're going to benefit from and they're going to benefit from?
Aleksya, may I chime in for just a second here?
Yeah, of course.
First of all, this is really, really interesting. Your introduction to business partnerships, I thought, really makes you stretch your imagination.
Mm-hmm.
This slide, Aleksya and Owen, is designed to say, well, there are 5 potential industries that we could approach. And within each of those industries, there are a number of global companies or niche market companies. So what we did first when we gave thought to this, where are we most likely to get a home run partnership? We said, well, which industries address the same customers that we address? Or want to address the same customers, kind of like the Star Wars cover girl example. And the conclusion that I heard from most people who gave thought to that was that the after-school enrichment market is the most likely industry to appreciate the value of Build It Yourself. And that's primarily because they're already in the after-school business. They know the customers. Our likelihood of success, our likelihood of making a quick partnership, a quick sale, is more likely to be in the after-school enrichment market than in the publishing, retail, gaming, or manufacturing market. Because for those industries, what we're doing is kind of, off of their, it might be a little bit off of their radar screen. So that's just why the after-school market is listed 1 there. These are these are more or less in the order of priority in which we thought we could be successful. I know, Aleksya, we're thinking about Alpha Toys, which
Right,
is in the
manufacturers.
manufacturers group, but just wanted to give you that perspective. That's not to say that if we have contacts in the manufacturers industry, contacts count for a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have a good contact that you can get right to the top or to a decision maker, we could probably prioritize that higher. Okay,
Right.
I'll shut up. I just wanted to add that perspective to this slide.
Yeah. Thank you, John. Yeah, no, that's super helpful. And so since you mentioned about the manufacturers, how we were looking into that, so I actually wanted to give Owen just an example, expose him to what we're looking into right now. And because this is a very good example. We were talking about, well, how can Build It Yourself partner with manufacturers? And here you've got manufacturers like Mattel, Hasbro, and retailers like Michaels, Hobby Lobby, because one of the reasons that they interest us is because they have the potential to create and distribute Build It Yourself kits. And eventually, we would like to have our own Build It Yourself kits that have all the tools needed for every Build It Yourself member. If they want to join a project, they want to join a building project, and they know exactly which Build It Yourself kit to buy, and then they'll know exactly where to go, or we'll have that kit ready for them. They won't have to go to a different retailer to buy this tool and then that tool and then this other tool and then drive here. No, we'll just have a whole kit for them and makes it easier, right? But one of the things that we were mentioning was, okay, so let's say that we partner with a toy company. They create a kit for us that we can sell, that you can find at Walmart, at Target, whatever. But let's say that out of every kit that they create, every member who signs up for Build It Yourself as a result of that kit, then we'll give part of that membership profit or revenue to the toy company. And the same thing goes if, let's say that, what was I going to say?
We can share revenue. We can get a cut of the hardware that they sell, and they can get a cut of our memberships.
Right. There you go. Thank you, John. So here you've got, each one of both of those companies is benefiting in their own way. But also the statement that we're making is we're helping promote Build It Yourself's story, which is all about creating more builders and all over the world, right? So what I want us to do, Owen, is let's go back to the agenda. So now you've got a better sense of what business development is, and we want to focus on partnerships right now for the long term. So what I want us to work on is this action plan. I want us to research some more potential partners focused in any one of these industries, or you can go ahead and pick from this list too. But what we should do is basically research them, find out who they are, what their product is, what their strengths are, where they're struggling, and basically what we're doing is profiling each company so that we have all the information, all the knowledge about them, and we can make the best, we can come up with the best strategy on what a partnership with that company would look like. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So here, look, these are the 5 questions that I've got. We don't have to answer specifically these, but we should think about this. Define characteristics. So
may I chime in a little bit, Aleksya? on these five attributes or profiles of a company?
Yeah.
Who are they? It's interesting to know if these are big companies. Almost all of them are probably public companies. You can probably go online and find out what their stock value is, and if their stock value has been going up or going down. That's an interesting data point. Who are they? How big in terms of sales? And whether they're on a roll or whether they're in trouble. Product service is sort of obvious. Competitive pressures, that's important because maybe we can make the pitch to them that if you have a competitive pressure, you need to create a differentiator, something that makes you different from your competitor. Maybe the Build It Yourself program distinguishes you from your competitors. Pain points can be their profit margin is not as good as it needs to be. Pain points could be an industry trend that's going in a bad direction. For example, all book publishers, no one's buying books anymore. So book publishers are being forced to create multimedia content. And it's really difficult for them to do that because their whole team of content developers knows how to do print, but not video. Just a peanut gallery comments on ways of profiling a company.
Yep. And so once we do create these profiles and we know more about each company that we pick, then we can prioritize. Like John said, we'll know better who's a better potential partner based on their customers and what they do, their services, and all this information that we can find out. And so then I want to see if we can create some preliminary proposals where basically we write out, okay, so what are they going to get out of this partnership? What are we going to get out of this partnership? And is there something bigger that we're working towards? The statement are they going to help us promote Build It Yourself in the long term, or get it to kids in a specific place, etc. So
one more peanut gallery comment, Alexia. You just mentioned who are their customers. I think we should add that to the 5 profile. That's a really critical one because we want to partner with companies that are already addressing our target customers. And our target customers are parents who have disposable income and want their kids to go to the colleges of their choice. So it's really important for us to understand who our ideal customer is. And we should maybe document that right here just for assuming we're going to send this around. Our customers are parents of kids 8 to 13 who have disposable income and want their kids to go to the schools of their choice.
Awesome.
And we want to partner with companies that are selling to the same ideal customer. And you could argue that all of these, where we have logos, Lego, Xbox, Whole Foods, they all target our ideal customer. Okay.
So with all this information that we've got for today, what I want to do is, if you can take some time, Owen, in your free time, just do some brainstorming and think about, maybe come up with 3 to 5 potential partners and gather some of this information here, answer some of those questions for them. And then next week, when we come together, let's create our own list. Let's prioritize from your list and from my list which potential partners are better for Build It Yourself. And
Great.
then we can discuss next steps for that.
Fantastic. Owen, may I ask, given this introduction to business partnerships, can you give Aleksya and me some feedback on, is this in line with what you think you might do at a business consulting company like Goldman Sachs?
Oh yeah,
Is
totally.
this of interest to you in general?
Yeah, definitely. This is, this is right up the alley of mergers and acquisitions,
Exactly.
building pitch books and whatnot. So, yeah, this is very interesting. I'd love to work with you guys on this.
Okay, fantastic.
Awesome.
My sense, Owen, is that the people who started a company like Bain or McKinsey or Goldman Sachs, the first projects they will be assigned is exactly what Aleksya just presented to you. Let's do some research to understand an industry and the companies inside of that industry. So my sense is if you can have this on your resume, this would be extremely valuable in an application to business school or an application to, a summer internship. Okay, Aleksya, it was really excellent what you prepared here. Really, really excellent.
Awesome. Thank you. So I've sent you guys the